Okay, so let's get right into it. A few weeks ago, Station Triton, the most advanced deep-sea research station on the planet, just went silent. So today, what we're going to do is piece together the story from everything that was left behind. And it's a chilling collection. Official mission logs, some encrypted private journals, and the final, absolutely terrifying data burst from the abyss. This is what happened to Station Triton.
And that quote, those were the words of Dr. Eva Rostova, the mission commander right before Triton even began its descent. It's a statement just filled with all the hope and ambition of exploration, right? But no one, and I mean least of all Dr. Rostova, could have possibly prepared for what they were actually about to find.
So this all kicked off with Operation Abyssal Plain. It was announced with a ton of fanfare. I mean, it was billed as humanity's next great leap into the unknown, a journey to one of the very last unexplored places on our own planet.
And the ambition of this whole project, it was just staggering. Station Triton was going to be operating at a depth of 6,800 meters. That's in the Mariana Trench. We're talking about an environment of just crushing pressure and absolute total darkness. Their goal for the 90-day mission was simple, but, monumental. Map parts of the trench that no one had ever seen before.
And this was the team they sent down there. A hand-picked, four-person crew, all specialists. You had Dr. Eva Rostova, the veteran oceanographer in charge, Dr. Benning, the mission biologist, Elias Thorne, who was both their engineer and their medical officer, and finally, Dr. Kenji Aris, the guy who handled all communications and telemetry. Just think about that. 4 experts sealed inside a habitat miles and miles below the surface of the ocean.
All right, so let's jump to October 29th. This is the day everything, and I mean everything, changed. Our next clues come straight from the internal logs of the station's little remote vehicle, the Orpheus, which was being piloted by Dr. Aris. This is the moment they found something.
So, at 21:03 GMT, they launched the Orpheus to check out a weird sonar reading. About 40 minutes later, they get to the target, and they realize the anomaly is a structure. By 21:46, they've identified it, a 40-meter-tall black monolith that reflects no light. Then, at 21:50, the microphones pick up a low-frequency, really complex signal coming right from it. And just 2 minutes after that, Dr. Rostova orders the ROV back, describing the signal as, and this is a quote, unpleasant.
And that log entry right there from Kenji Aris's, it confirms it. There was zero ambiguity. The crew knew instantly that this thing carved into the trench wall was artificial. It didn't belong there. It couldn't belong there.
And the object just got weirder from there. When Aris tried to get a better look, it seemed to defy physics. Sonar scans dampened against it. The ROV's powerful lights, they were just swallowed by its surface. It was like it was a patch of absolute blackness that just drank light and energy.
Discovering the monolith was unsettling, sure, but what happened next was just genuinely terrifying. And for this part, we have to turn to the encrypted private journal of Elias Thorne, the station's medical officer. His logs show the really profound and disturbing psychological effect that signals started to have on the entire crew.
Okay, get this. Within 48 hours, every single crew member, Thorne included, was reporting the exact same recurring nightmare. And that dream was falling upwards in a black void toward a singing, angular star. They would wake up with the physical sensation of the signal, quote, in our teeth. Dr. Benning became obsessed, just watching the signal's waveform, while Dr. Rostova started trying to translate it, convinced it was some kind of harmonizing frequency.
And here it is. This might be the most chilling part of Thorne's medical assessment. He concluded this wasn't an infection or a toxin or some kind of group psychosis. No, he believed the signal was actively, physically altering their minds, kind of rewiring their perception of reality. They weren't getting sick. They were being changed.
And that brings us to the very last communication ever received from Station Triton. On November 6th, a listening post in Guam got a single, corrupted burst of data. What you're about to hear are the fragmented sentences that the data recovery teams managed to piece back together.
This is Kenji Aris, and he is clearly in a state of panic. He's reporting that Rostova and Benning, who are now completely under the signal's influence, have started carving its geometric pattern into the station's walls. With scalpels, with welding tools, he describes the shapes as non-Euclidean, basically impossible geometry that caused physical pain just to look at.
Next, Aris reports the loss of Elias Thorne, in what seems to be a moment of either horrific clarity or just
Madness. The medical officer took his own life. He opened an internal airlock, exposing himself to the crushing deep-sea pressure.
The message then captures something from the now retuned Dr. Rostova. Her words, they reveal the signal's terrifying purpose. See, it wasn't just a sound or a frequency, it was a shape, an entity, and it wanted to get inside the station.
And this is it. This is the last coherent phrase that was recovered from that transmission. Kenji Aras's final, desperate warning, shouted as his former colleagues, Rostova and Benning, reached the station's main airlock.
Let's just put that number into perspective. 9,980 pounds per square inch. That is an immense, almost unimaginable amount of water pressure. It's the kind of force that would turn a submarine into a crumbled can in an instant. This is the pressure they were about to invite inside.
Immediately after Kenji's message cut off, the station's automated black box recorded its final moments with just cold, robotic precision. At 04:33:15, the main airlock starts cycling. 2 seconds later, an unauthorized manual override warning. 3 seconds after that, catastrophic hull breach. Then, everything, life support, comms, power, goes offline. It's followed by a high-amplitude acoustic event, an implosion. At 04:33:23, the telemetry link terminated. Forever.
Weeks go by. Eventually, the U.S. Navy's Deep Submergence Unit manages to locate and survey the wreckage, but the evidence they found on the seafloor, well, it didn't provide any closure. It only created way more questions. So this is where the mystery really deepens. The salvage report confirmed, 1. The station was deliberately opened from the inside. 2. The interior was covered in those impossible geometric carvings. And 3, most disturbingly, there were no bodies. All 4 crew members were just gone.
So this is what the entire investigation boils down to. 2 inexplicable facts. The first, the entire crew of Station Triton vanished from a sealed, crushed habitat at the bottom of the ocean. The second, when the salvage mission went to survey the monolith, the 40-meter structure was also gone. The trench wall was smooth, as if it had never even been there at all.
The very last piece of data they recovered, something Aras saved in his final seconds, wasn't a message. It was an image, presumably a representation of the signal. And it leaves us with one terrifying question. If the crew opened the door and the monolith is gone, what exactly was the shape that wanted to enter? And where did it go?